was a quiet morning on the island of Sodor. All the engines were at the sheds. At the sheds, James didn't look very happy. Gordon grumbled, "What's the matter with you?" "I went to another railway last night and I found an old steam engine." "Really?" "Yes, she's going to be broken up in a few days. I want to save her." Donald and Douglas were amazed. "What's the other engine's name?" Is she a diesel or a steam engine?" "She's a steam engine. She's a very friendly one too. She hasn't been running on the railway in ages." Percy was worried. "I hope you do save her, James." "I'll tell you the story of when I met this engine. Her name's Vanessa. She's a kind engine, but I don't know when they're going to scrap her." And James began to tell the story. It all happened just yesterday. The Fat Controller had a very important job for me to do. The Fat Controller spoke to me. "James, I got a very important job for you. I got some old trucks I'd like you to take to the other railway. Lots of old scrap needs to go." "Yes, sir." "And be back before dark, James, 'cause it's easy to get lost up there." "I will, sir." And the Fat Controller walked away. So, on the way to the other railway, it was quite a journey. Then there was trouble. James broke down. Oh no! Poor James granted to a halt. The driver got out and looked all over James. "Oh dear, James, looks like you've cracked your cylinder. We might have to spend the night here tonight. We'll park in a siding and I'll go get help." "Yes, sir." So James parked into a siding. In a siding was another engine, and there was a nasty man talking to him. A nasty man was smoking his cigar, and he was feeling good about himself. The nasty man was horrible. "Nyah, nyah, 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 nyah. You'll be scrapped soon, little engine. Just think, after you get broken up to 1,000,000 pieces, I'll rebuild you into something else. Maybe I could make you into a diesel. Or I could make you into a motor vehicle." "Please don't do that," said the engine. "I'm happy being a steam engine." "Oh, but steam engines are old and out of date. We don't have steam engines on this railway anymore. Sorry, little engine, but starting tomorrow, you're going to the scrapyards to be melted down. Bye-bye. I'll see you first thing tomorrow." And the nasty man walked away. When the nasty man was out of sight, the little engine was more sad than ever. James felt sorry for her. "Hello, who are you?" The little engine spoke. "My name is Vanessa. What's your name?" "I'm James. I heard what that horrible man said. He can't do this to you." "Why?" "He says steam engines are old and out of date." "Don't listen to him," grumbled James. "That man doesn't know anything. On our railway, steam engines are always kept in service." Vanessa liked the sound of that. "What's your railway like?" "It's lovely. We have so many steam engines. Where are you from?" "I come from the island of Sodor." The little engine laughed. "I've never been to the island of Sodor. Is it lovely?" "It's a beautiful place." "I heard there are no steam engines left on your railway." "No. On this railway, it's diesels taking over now." "Well, the Fat Controller would never let that happen on our railway." "Who's the Fat Controller?" "The Fat Controller is a man who runs the island of Sodor. He's in charge of everything. Anyway, I'm broken down and my driver's and fireman says I have to stay here tonight. As soon as I'm fixed, then I'll be able to come back to Sodor. Why don't you come with me? Oh, I would like to. Don't worry, as soon as I'm running again, I'll talk to the Fat Controller about you. Okay. Then, nighttime came. Vanessa spoke to James. James, I'm scared. What's gonna happen to me? Nothing. It's gonna be okay, Vanessa. I promise. You're gonna help me, aren't you, James? Of course I am. No other engine gets left behind. And the two engines went to sleep. Then, morning came. James was all fixed and mended. Don't worry, Vanessa. I promise I'll come back for you. Thank you, James. And James head off home. Back on Sodor, James was having a nice drink. Then the Fat Controller arrived. The Fat Controller spoke kindly to James. James, you don't look very happy. What's the matter? James told him all about last night. Sir, I went to the other railway and I found an old engine. She's going to be broken up soon and scrapped. What's her name? Vanessa. There was a nasty man on the other railway and he spoke very nasty to her. The Fat Controller was cross. This is an outrage. Steam engines shouldn't be treated like this. Sir, we've got to help her. Please. Don't worry, James. I'll make sure that we do help her. Take me to the other railway this afternoon, and I will talk to that man. Vanessa sounds like a very nice steam engine, and I think she deserves another chance. James had to agree. Oh, thank you, sir. At lunchtime, James took the Fat Controller to the other railway. James was back. Vanessa was very happy to see him. The Fat Controller looked all over her. Hello, you must be Vanessa. I am. It's a pleasure to meet you. I'm the Fat Controller. I run the island of Sodor. James has been telling me all about you. Then the Fat Controller spoke kindly. You're a very nice engine, Vanessa. Thank you, sir. James has been telling me about that nasty man. Does he really treat you badly? I'm afraid he does. He speaks to me in a horrible way, and he said he's going to scrap me for sure. Well, I won't allow it. No steam engines on my railway get scrapped. Vanessa, I'm getting you out of here. You are? Yes. James and I are going to take you back to Sodor. We're going to take you to the works to be mended. You'll have a new coat of paint and you'll fit in well with all the other engines. Vanessa was happy. And then there was trouble. Get your hands off that engine. It was the nasty man. He lit his cigar and then he blew smoke into the Fat Controller's face. The Fat Controller was coughing. Do you mind? Smoke that cigar somewhere else. I see you're here to save that little engine. She belongs here. She's not your property. The Fat Controller was cross. I've been hearing stories about you. You've been nasty to that little engine. I've been hearing the way you've been treating her. How do you know? One of my engines have been telling me. Oh, Vanessa, you didn't go telling the others, did you? You snitched. She didn't snitch. She did the right thing telling. Steam engines do not get scrapped on my railway. I'm taking her away. Oh, no, you're not. I'm going to call the police. You've got 10 seconds to get out of here. If you're not gone by then, the police will be here. The Fat Controller grumbled. This is an outrage. You've got 10 seconds to leave. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And then 10 seconds was up. That's it. Since you're still here, I'm calling the police.
Go ahead.
And the man did.